Shit, we can't hear the music when it comes in. How do you hear it?
Yeah, you can hear it.
Oh, can you?
Did you plug one in?
You'll be able to hear it coming through there.
No, I didn't plug one in. Yours is plugged in though, right?
Yeah, you'll be able to hear it.
All right, well, I'm hitting it.
Let's see.
.357 Productions is proud to present the Masonian, a monthly podcast for Freemasons with a focus on the Grand Jurisdiction of North Carolina. While not an official function of the Grand Lodge of North Carolina, we operate with the full endorsement of Grand Master Bryant Webster. The opinions expressed on this show are those of the participants and in no way reflect the opinions of the Grand Lodge of North Carolina, its members, or any appendant bodies. 357 Productions does not own any of this music, but as always, we wish we did, because if we did, we wouldn't probably be here.
Yeah.
Man, it feels like it's been forever since we've been on the air.
Damn, Riley, it has been forever, bro. What episode is this, Brown? Is this 23?
Okay.
Something like that. It's kind of amazing if you think about it that we've shot like 22 and without an interruption. We've done one every month, but our schedules just got us last month. We're all busy guys and busy Masons. Riley works 3 doggone jobs and has a boatload of young children to take care of. And Brown has turned into some sort of international pit crew on the motorcycle racing scene. And so as we got, here's the way this works. We don't really have a schedule to shoot. We try to roll these things out first of the month, more or less. But we don't really have a shooting schedule. We just, when we get down to the last week or so, 10 days of the month, we kind of send out a text, hey, what day can you do it, and what day can you do it? And we just got caught, man. We couldn't do it, could we? Couldn't pull it off.
Hey, 1 month out of all those episodes is pretty good, though.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So, I had Mason stuff going on, and Riley had stuff going on, and Brown, who we're going to blame this whole thing on Brown, was off in Vegas, baby. What happened in Vegas, Brown?
Well, we went and raced.
What else happened in Vegas?
Can't tell you.
Stays in Vegas.
Stays in Vegas. I don't know. The few pictures that he sent me looked, I don't know, it looked like it was a bad scene out there. I mean, it looked like it could have been made into a movie at any minute.
Yeah, like his version of The Hangover.
Because Jeanette won the championship, right?
She won the championship.
So there was a lot of partying going on from what I saw. So
They do film cops out there a lot.
Anyway, so we're glad to have Brown back. Brown, I'm really happy for Jeanette. Hey, throw her a bone. Tell everybody who she is and a little bit about the championship.
So Jeanette Thornley is she lives in Statesville, North Carolina, and she races a Pro Fuel Harley Davidson. And this is the second year in a row she's won the championship in that class for NHRA.
So Sean, what was her fastest time this year?
Fastest time this year, 7:20 something at 184 mile an hour.
She's awesome.
I know. That's incredible, man.
Jeanette is awesome. We love her. And so Brown has somehow weaseled his way onto this pit crew, and he helps. I think he's become a staple for those guys. But he drove across the country. It's a long way from here to Vegas in a truck, in our U-Haul, whatever y'all were in, camper.
It's a long ways, yeah. Further than I imagined.
How long did it take you to get there?
We left on Monday morning, got there Wednesday at 2 o'clock.
And I think they drove like almost solid. They just stopped.
Yeah, there was some cool pictures.
Essentials.
It was kind of like the Griswold family vacation, like all the different stops, and you guys are taking pictures.
It was kind of like that. We'd stop and see what we lost.
Anyway, we're glad to have you back into our schedules. And we started to try and shoot the thing we got to the 5th or the 6th of this month, and we thought maybe we'd try and catch up, and we just said heck with it. We'll just wait. We'll shoot one in November. In the meantime, we shot an interview with the Grand Master that's not up yet on the website. Maybe it will be by the time we roll this out. Today's like the 22nd or something, so we'll be rolling this out the 1st. Pretty soon we'll be getting that shoot with the Grand Master up. He came down. He had something to do in Greensboro, made a little bit of time for a shot down here, kind of did an end-of-the-year recap. So look for that. If that won't be on, when you go to the website, that won't be under the Masonian podcast. That'll be under the interview series, I'm assuming, is where we'll put that. So look for that. There's 2. We shot one at the first of the year with him, and then one here at the end of the year kind of as a recap. So everybody hunt that up. Riley has been busy. You know, I kid about you having 3 jobs, but really, he really does volunteer fireman. He's like the craziest, busiest guy I know. Insanely sought after DJ. How's the DJ business, buddy?
Booming, man. Busy between that and the radio station. Going.
All right, so here's what I want to know. I keep calling this guy Dead Mouse, but I see it spelled M-O-U.
It's like Dead Mouse.
Dead Mouse.
Everybody says it different.
But he wears a mouse head.
Yes.
But
Very
it's not
famous
spelled
DJ.
mouse.
I think his real name is Sean Bradshaw, and he just wears this helmet, and that's his stage name.
Dual identity. Huh?
That's exactly what it is.
Hey, man, check this out. So we got a candidate at Sophia, Ted. You remember Ted? You know, he's back, and Sean is coaching him. So right worshipful brother Bradshaw has told me that they share several things in common. And I've known Ted longer than anybody, but I don't pay attention to these sort of things. Apparently he's a watch connoisseur like Sean. And but they also like the same kind of music, this techno music. So Sean's trying to get this guy that's our candidate to go to, I don't know where, fly halfway across the country to go to some sort of techno music thing. That's the way you love your candidates, fellas. You get them.
That's right.
You get them to like have the same hobbies that you do, and then you like get them to fly across the country with you. That's I just thought that was fascinating and interesting. There's probably like 2, guys in Freemasonry in North Carolina that like techno music and watches, and it's Sean and Ted.
Yeah, and those are some really cool concerts, man. They're pretty elaborate and very, very large. I bet it's a cool deal, man. I'd like to go with Sean to a couple of them. I think it'd be kind of crazy.
I'm betting he'll let you go.
I bet he would.
Yeah, he'll let you go. Maybe you just get up a whole group and go. Well, Sean's got a camper. You can just take the camper.
I know. Another Griswold vacation.
I can't remember where this was. I can't remember if it was Vegas or maybe Florida. I don't know where. Anyway, doesn't really matter. Cool stuff. So, when am I going to get my radio station up, bro?
Right after Thanksgiving, man. We'll be on the air, 105.9.
So hopefully by time you what are we doing, Brown?
Oh, you're good.
So when this rolls out, hopefully it'll be up.
Absolutely.
Are you streaming also?
Not yet. We just want to get it on the air first and get that going, and then we'll start doing online. We'll start streaming online.
When I was thinking about that, I was going to ask you what was going to be the first song you were going to play on your radio station, but you told me it was going to be all Christmas music. Surely, can you play one song that's like not Christmas?
What we're going to do right now is we've got to be in a testing phase for X amount of time. So what we're going to do is we're just going to eat up our testing phase with just Christmas music. Probably not do a big rollout or big advertisement, nothing on the air saying, hey, we're here. All we can really do is just give the station identification at the top of every hour. And then, once we, get everything finalized, then it's ours. And then we'll roll it out and we'll advertise what, when our first tune-in is going to be and stuff like that. And then it'll be that song probably. But that's a good question. I've been trying to think, what song do you play to christen a radio station?
Most people would never remember it, but you'll know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll know. What do you think it's going to be?
I don't know. Just like I remember the very first song that aired on MTV Music was Aerosmith.
Well, you had to be in kindergarten then.
I was into music, man. No, I was young. I wasn't in kindergarten, but I was young. But it was Aerosmith, and it was Dream On. That was the very first MTV music video ever played.
No kidding. Steven Tyler up there.
Steven Tyler, man.
Doing it up. So I think you've got to use a Metallica song. You can do it legally, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I have license, yeah.
So if you have a license with a radio station, is it your license or is it the radio station's license?
Radio stations. But I mean, it's like an umbrella.
I wonder if the radio station could start we could put the podcast under the radio station, and then we could legally use.
Yeah, we could probably just say this. Is a division of URA Mountain Radio. There you go.
Why not?
Why not? Under the license of URA Mountain Radio.
We'll double your pay.
Yeah, sounds great.
All right. Hey, man, check this out. Had fell in some tough emotional times here a while back. I was trying to get this ADEP program launched. So with the Grand Lodge Committee on Masonic Education, we're going to talk about this ADEP program a little bit later tonight. But we last year we spent a tremendous amount of time and energy building the Davie Academy. Davie Academy's up. It's running great. We've had 2 classes, having a third one on the 10th in Asheville at Nichols West. After that, we're going east again. If I was a good leader of this thing, I would remember where that was at, maybe Goldsboro or somewhere. But it's on the website.
Ben talks about how busy we are, Sean, but like he's like a super mason. He talks about me having all these jobs and you going all over the place with drag racing. But I mean, he's like the super mason. You've only got about a bazillion things going at one time. Yeah. And I know the people at home can't see this, but there's whiteboards all around this place, and they all have all this stuff all over them. It's crazy.
Yeah, we're just creating something all the time. Anyway, we did Davy. Davy's up and running great. So the thing that we're going to do this year is we're going to build a school, an academy, a college, or whatever. We're still trying to figure out what we're going to call it. That's all going to deal in the philosophical side. And this is what we're going to talk about tonight, and we'll talk about it at length when we get done. Anyway, the predecessor to that was going to be this ADEP program. And as it turns out, we're going to do something that's much bigger and much better. But the ADEP program was all ready to roll out. Curry Pendleton and Randy Browning and some other guys did a tremendous amount of work getting that thing ready to go. And we hit some snags. The administrative side got us. We couldn't figure out how to make some things work on the administrative side. We couldn't get some permissions that we wanted. And I don't want to go into it, but in dealing with that, with having done all this work to create this super cool program for our brothers, when we had hit this administrative wall that we couldn't get over, I got really down, man. I was
drained you.
Yeah, I was mad and I was disappointed, and I don't know. You're wondering if it's worth all the effort that you go through and the hours that you put into trying to do something like that for our brothers, and it was obvious that we had fought this battle for a while, and it was obvious we just lost. It was not going to happen. And the universe is a funny place, Riley. When I start feeling down, and I start feeling like maybe it's just not worth it, all of a sudden, I start getting all these phone calls and messages from just random dudes. The first guy called me was Chris Hawkins. And Chris called me one day, out of the blue. I can't remember. I get confused on what are text and what are phone calls. But I talked to Chris, and he said, man, I just wanted to let you know, I don't know why, I just had this on my heart. I just wanted to let you know that the podcast means a tremendous amount to me. And as a Mason, I really feel like it helps me and it lifts me up, and he just said really nice things. And he didn't have to do that. And he didn't know why he did it. He said, I just felt like I ought to tell you. I was like, man, here I am feeling sorry for myself, and a dude calls out of the blue. Then a guy named Al Terrell calls. I think Chris called me and Al messaged me. Anyway, same deal. Hey, just wanted to let you know, really appreciate everything you're doing in Masonry, and, it's meant a lot to me, and I've learned a lot, and blah, blah, blah. So, and then I go to Scottish Rite, and Danny Martin comes in and gives me this really cool, awesome gift, which, by the way, Danny, I'm wearing right now, brother. And he didn't have to do that. Like, Danny, what'd you get? This thing's stupid great. I know it's expensive and cool. What'd you do that for? I don't know, man. I just really appreciate you. So then, so it just goes to prove that, quit feeling sorry for yourself and get on when you have because people care.
Yeah, they do.
Just thought it was really cool. Then let me tell you this. This is going to scare the hell out of you. You ready for this? I go to, they have every year, when they have a new crop of DDGMs, they get them together, and this thing kind of floats around between Raleigh and the Children's Home in Whitestone. This year it was in Raleigh. And they get them together and they talk about DDGM stuff, right? So one of the things that they would talk to them about was what the Grand Lodge Committee on Masonic Education had to offer. So I went to do the briefing, and so I'm there. I'm doing the briefing. We take a break, and this dude right here comes up to me. His name is Dewey Webb, and he's from Forest City. I can't remember if that's the name of the lodge or just the town. I think it's both. I think it's Forest City Lodge in Forest City. He says, "Hey Ben, just wanted to let you know we really enjoy the podcast." Oh yeah, that's good, man. Good, appreciate that. He said we show it in lodge for Masonic education. I'm like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me! I'm going to have to clean up my language. We're going to have to watch what we say. He's like, yeah, I wonder if you could do something that was like, 20 or 30 minutes. That gets old after y'all start going over an hour. I'm like, yeah, I guess it does. Hey, man, huge shout out to the dudes in Forest City. I
Thanks,
hope
guys.
we think we're doing some good here on this podcast.
We appreciate all four of you guys watching. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. We shoot the breeze a lot too, man. And I just thought that was super cool. I don't know what kind of what we're really teaching, but that's good. I guess I don't know if they download it. I didn't ask him. I was talking to somebody else, and he came up, and we were talking, and it was one of those things. There was a lot of guys in the room, and he got away from me. But anyway, Brother Dewey Webb, the voice from Forest City,
Brother Webb.
Man, we really, I was shocked. Still shocked.
That's crazy, man.
So I guess that means we're going to have to up our game or something. I don't know. We'll have to start talking about the code. We'll start reading from. I have the reports coming in.
And we're going to have that edit button, like beep, beep. What was it? Beep.
No more Frank's Red Hot Sauce commercials.
I forgot that we did that on the last one.
Yeah.
How did that go over?
I didn't hear any blowback. I guess we'll just keep doing stupider and stupider stuff until somebody fusses at us. What do you think about that?
Hey, it's your show, babe.
It's our show. No, it's our show. It's our show.
It's our show.
All right, here's some serious Masonic education for us. Jeff Hensley is a new guy. There's all these new people in Masonry all of a sudden. We talked about Rick retiring on the last show, Rick Carter, and so there's somebody. They've created a couple of positions and they've combined a couple of positions, and I don't know how much of this is supposed to be secret and how much of it's out, but I think most of these have been announced by now. So Jeff Hensley is a guy. I'm going to screw this up. I know I am, but so we have three charities. I want to explain something about the charities because we had a misunderstanding about this in our lodge the other night, and I explained it for about 20 minutes, and I'm still not sure everybody understood it. We have three charities. One is Whitestone, the retirement community. One is the Children's Home in Oxford, and the other is the North Carolina Masonic Foundation. And the foundation doesn't have a physical location, but they hold a lot of money, and then they dispense that money out to the different charities and to other Masonic things. So those are our three charities. Whitestone has something called the North Carolina Mesh Foundation LLC, which is a really big, long title to try to keep up with. And it has the word foundation in it. And I have found in talking to a lot of people that this confuses the snot out of everybody. Right. Because they confuse the North Carolina Masonic Foundation, which is one of our three charities, with the North Carolina Mesh Foundation LLC, which is a division of the Whitestone money giving. So you can give your money to Whitestone two ways. One, you can just give it to Whitestone. And if you do that, then that goes, as I understand it, if somebody from Whitestone can call and straighten me out if this is wrong. But if you write a check to Whitestone, then that's going to go to pay for the air conditioning and the light bills and the salaries and the facilities, and that goes into the Whitestone budget. If you give to the North Carolina Mesh Foundation LLC, then that money goes directly to fraternal residents. That is just people who are stars or Freemasons that need fraternal help. But it confuses people because that's called a foundation and the North Carolina Masonic Foundation is called a foundation, and they are two completely separate things. So hope I got all that straightened out. The North Carolina Masonic Foundation, the one of the three charities, has hired a dude named Jeff Hensley. And Jeff is going to be, I don't know, he's got some title, the something program director or something, muckety muck. But he's going to kind of oversee, as I understand it, not only fundraising and management of this Masonic Foundation money, but somehow he's going to help with the two charities also. At some point, we're going to get Jeff on, and he can explain that ad nauseum, but hopefully I didn't do it too much injustice there. Anyway, you're going to see this dude a lot. I met him. He's a great guy. He was at the DDGM thing. I really liked him. He'll come to your lodge and talk to you at length. We need to get him on the Speakers Bureau. He's agreed to do that. We just need to make it happen. As my understanding is, he's not a Freemason yet. I think maybe that might be in the works, but you could certainly have him come to your lodge and dispense with labor and let him come in and do his program and leave, and he'll answer all these questions that we kind of sort of don't understand. In addition to that, there's another new person in Mason. So this dude's going to be like a big guy, and he's going to be one of the people. He's teaching at Wilkerson College. He's going to be all in lodges. You're going to see him in annual communication. He's just going to be one of the guys, right? So there's another guy that is new on the scene, and this guy is not a guy. This guy's name is Beth Grace. Now, if I had thought of the name Beth Grace for my daughter Laura before she was born, I probably would have gone with Beth Grace, because I don't think you could come up with a cooler name. It's like you couldn't dream up a better name than that. How cool is that, Beth Grace?
Hey, man. Rock star.
I think maybe she is.
I think she is.
Now look.
That's what I've been told.
Check this out. The Grand Master told me that Beth Grace, when they were getting ready to hire her, what her job is going to be, she's going to run the North Carolina Mason. So she's like the editor of the paper, taking Rick's place, and then she's doing something else.
She'll be doing the online portion cohort, from what I've been told.
The online what?
Well, I mean, like that. I hate to say it's not advertising, but the communications,
marketing,
the publication portion of it. I think
is that for the paper or for the charities?
Well, I don't know. I've not been told yet, but I know that we're meeting December the 3rd. And we're going to be discussing all that. I think she may be coming to lunch with us, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And
so this is Publications Committee.
This is the Publications Committee.
With Bill Fajan.
Yes.
Love that dude.
Yes. We've got to meet each other over the phone, not personally yet. Yeah. But I think there's going to be some...
you'll know him. He's the ugly one. Horrible. Terrible. Very. I don't know what's...
But they're branching out with that position, and I think they're going to release all that. But they worked really hard to find someone good and combine some different things, some new things into that position. And I hope I'm not speaking out of turn. I hope I got that right in everything that I was following. But I think they're going to take a social media approach to a lot of things, looking at some new ways to reach Masons, feature Masons, things like that, along with the publication.
Well, all I hear is I hear a lot of chatter about this position. Bill Fajan, I love that guy. He's a guy that makes things happen. I've seen him do it, and everybody write that name down in the back of your head, because you're going to be hearing a lot out of Bill.
Well, I definitely commend him. As you and I were talking earlier, as Ben said, I have numerous jobs, and he tracked me down. I mean, I had people transferring him in to me, like for phone calls and stuff. So he did track me down, and I do. We've shared some emails and talked on the phone, and I look forward to meeting him on December the 3rd. Yeah,
they put Bill in charge of that committee, my understanding, because they knew that there was going to be a lot of responsibility going on with that committee. Apparently, Riley's on this committee. It's publications, but it's going to look after all this stuff with Beth, and
it's really that
there's a big push on this year.
Speaking with Bill, I think that committee is fixing to branch out and is going to blow up. There's a lot of different things and arms and things that are going to be coming out of this committee that you're going to see spawn off. So it's pretty neat. I mean, I look forward to it. I'm excited.
Good. We're so guilty all the time of, we're sitting in lodge, and you got your 12 or 15 guys in there, or 15 or 20 or 8 or however many, depending on the size of your lodge. And we're telling those guys the things that are going on, and we're bitching at those guys about the things we're not doing or doing right or wrong or whatever. The other 85 guys are sitting at home. They don't know any of this. So reaching out to those guys is important. Some of them can't come for a bunch of different reasons. Maybe a health issue, maybe a distance issue. Maybe they just don't want to come to lodge anymore. Maybe they don't. Maybe it's an interest issue. But if you can reach them, then maybe you could, get a man back involved. Maybe you could get a man to make a donation.
Absolutely.
Maybe you could get a guy that wants to talk about his will. Maybe you could get a guy that just needs a ride.
And I think a lot of that's going to come with the same initiatives that you're doing. A lot of it with the web page, what are we offering? What does Masonry in North Carolina offer? How can you get people to your lodge? Same thing, and we can try to bridge that gap with social media. It's free, and there's so many people on it right now, and there's so many different things you can do. Yeah. So I think that's going to be one big push is how we can connect to those brothers that are not in lodge, just like you said. And it's not going to be everybody, right. But there is a large number that are online.
Yeah, if we could just, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of guys that fall out of the habit of going to lodge. Maybe they went through the chairs and then they didn't feel needed anymore. Maybe they had a bad experience 15 years ago with some guy that's dead now, right. or some new leadership now.
Life just gets in the way. Like me, you and I were talking just a few minutes ago. I've got 3 boys for those guys listening, and two of them are always playing sports. We're in sports season, and we just finished fall baseball, and now we're rolling into basketball, and I hadn't been to lodge in several months, at least 3 that I know of. And I feel terrible. I mean, I feel like when every Tuesday rolls around, I feel terribly guilty when I'm out on that ball field because I feel like I need to be at lodge. And now that baseball season's over, hopefully I can come back. But man, we all talk to those guys who've just fallen out of the routine, and they just there's always some kind of excuse. With me, it's definitely my boys, and I can't wait to get back. I feel terrible, man. I feel like I'm letting people down, and I you need to get back. But you're right. There needs to be some form of connection. You guys have been going right along. Lodge is still going to go on. But even with me, like I don't even know what's been going on at Blackmer at our home lodge. And how cool would it be if on our webpage we had some information? And I know when I was there, I was trying to help really maintain a lot of that. And since I've not been there, it's kind of falling by the wayside a little bit. But just updating, letting people know that are connected with those lodges what's going on in lodge. You're exactly right. It could be just the most minute thing: calendar of events, what presenters coming when, ladies' night on Sunday night, stuff like that.
Yeah, we got to find a way to wait. And in our little lodge, we used to have a newsletter that fell off. Captain Campbell's tried to get the newsletter going again. We just can't seem to get any traction on it. It takes work and time and energy, and it's hard to do. But both on a state level, I'm glad to see us starting to reach out in different ways, new and unique, and trying things different. And, back in our Blue Lodges, I guess we just need to redouble our efforts to try and get that message to guys. Anyway, I'm excited about this Beth Grace. I was going to tell you. So what we started down this road, I can never keep a train of thought going. The Grand Master told me that when they hired Beth Grace, then he was telling me a little bit about her interview process, and how they really liked her, and she did really well, and she had called him to do interview. But one of the things, I don't know if she did this before they hired her or right after they hired her, but at some point right in there, she went back and watched all the 357 Productions podcasts.
That's pretty cool.
Scary. That's what that is. That's scary. What?
Well, it's smart. It's smart.
I guess
you think about a female that's not an Eastern Star, has no prior knowledge of what Masonry is. That's a smart cookie. That's somebody who's doing their homework. That's pretty cool, man. It is scary she's watching us for that homework.
That's what I'm talking about. Us.
But it is. It's flattering.
We got to up our game. Damn, lodges.
You making me nervous, man. Now
from
you're telling us
Masonic
all these people that are
education.
watching
Beth
us
Grace
now.
doing some sort of undercover investigative reporting on us.
I know.
What in the world?
I know. Now, next thing you know, Dan Brown's going to be watching us.
I know. I'm nervous now. I can't even hardly go on with the show. I don't even know what we were talking about. Lord have mercy. We hadn't let
Well, thank you guys for watching us, man. Thank you, BG, for watching us. That is awesome.
Here's what I want to know. Who else is watching us that we don't know about?
I don't know.
This is supposed to be our secret thing here. Here we are, the whole damn world's watching us.
That we thought only 3 people were watching. So we didn't care.
Even our wives quit watching. They don't even watch it anymore.
Yeah, we don't even get likes from them anymore.
So I can't wait to meet this lady. And I can't wait to get her here. So I was going to send her an email and invite her to come do one of the podcasts.
That'd be cool.
Or I was going to maybe, I guess, God forbid, pick up the phone and call her. But I thought of a better way. Well, since she listens to the show, we'll just invite her right now. Beth Grace, we would love for you to come sit right there next to Riley, and we'll do a podcast. We want to talk to you about a zillion things.
And
we can't do it in December.
The sad thing is she's got the job. She quit watching.
Yeah. She's like, I got this now.
I'm not watching these guys knuckleheads.
Beth, we would love for you to come on the show and talk about anything you want to talk about, and we'll fill you in on all the secrets that we can't talk about on the air that we can tell you about.
And maybe we can get you
I don't mean the Masonic secrets. I mean all the dirt on all the.
And I'm sure we could talk to the chef of the tractor shed and get you a special menu for that night.
We can. What we need to do is plan to eat at 3 so we can possibly have it done by like 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that'd probably be smart.
Our timing was a little off tonight. The chef let us down.
It's all right, man. It happens.
Yeah, I know, but I feel bad.
I feel bad.
Turned out okay. There's been so much Masonic stuff going on since our last show. I don't even know where to start. But one of the really cool things that happened was we had a reunion at Scottish Rite. All the Scottish Rite Valleys would have had their reunions across the state. We're in Greensboro, so we had ours. I think we had a relatively small class this time. We had maybe 10 or so. Out of 10, give or take a couple. Check this out. Out of 10. We had 2 Bulgarians, a Hungarian, and a guy from Uruguay. And 2 of those were doctors. What are the chances? Half the class.
Did they all ride together?
No, they're from different places.
None of them knew each other.
Well, some of them knew each other, but not all of them. One guy came with Mac. I don't know. There was a guy from Eagle or Mosaic. Anyway,
any of those guys been through any of the programs, like Wilkerson College or anything like that? Just curious.
No,
I'm just curious.
No, but we need to get them, man. I love these guys. One of them, Oscar. You know Oscar Allen?
Yeah.
One of them, Oscar sent me an email one day. This has been 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. Said, "Hey Ben, I got a friend of a friend in North Carolina that wants to become a Mason. Can you hook him up?" Sure. Give me his email address. Started emailing with the guy. He joined Mosaic Lodge. This guy is a doctor. He's a PhD. Teaches at one of the colleges in Raleigh. I can't remember which one. And he has a degree in Romance languages and mythology. Something. Romance languages and something. So he's a professor. He's a college professor. And there he is in Scottish Rite. And we're doing the degrees for him. Super cool. I just thought that was really cool that our class was that diverse. And these guys were really deep.
So I'm sure he'd be really cool in the degree work.
Oh, man, yeah.
That's going to be ridiculous.
They all would, because they all got those accents, especially they get the Hungarians and the Bulgarian. They sound like they're from the old country,
That's cool, man.
Yeah. And so the dude that's from Uruguay, Dr. Zalbat, I think is his name, Dr. Horatio, whatever.
Horatio.
Anyway, yeah, Horatio. He looks like the most interesting man in the world. The one that went to the moon, or to the outer space.
Right.
The older one, not the new one they got now.
Right.
Yeah, he looks like that dude.
A real cool guy.
Yeah. Anyway, I just thought it was really cool having that diverse of a group. We had a great reunion. Got to do the 17th degree again. I love that degree. It's one of those where that character is you play that all out, and so I'm yelling and screaming and waving my hands and stuff. It's just really
cool.
It's great reunion. I love Scottish Rite, so that's all good. Davey, we talked about Davey. Davey's going well. Wilkerson College, we're getting ready for Wilkerson College. The class is all right, I'm going to say something that's not quite true. The class is full. Normally we take 36 students. So last year they filled up before the end of October. I talked to Gary Handy today. Gary said they got their 36 right around October 31st, November 1st. He couldn't remember what day he got the last one out of the mail. So the class is full. However, they were going to allow us to go up to 40 students this year if there was a need. So it looks like we may be going to add 4 more students. And if I understood Gary today, they've already got a couple of those filled, but maybe they have a couple of those slots laying around. They're really wanting to hold them out and get lodges that have never sent anybody. Or districts that have never sent anybody to Wilkerson College. But there's a few left. By the time this rolls out, they'll probably be gone.
And here's my quick commercial. If you have not been to Wilkerson College and you are interested in Wilkerson College, or you are a lodge who has never sent a representative to Wilkerson College, it's a must. I mean, it's just a great experience. I know all three of us have been. I know that all three of us would highly say the same thing. It's just a great experience. You learn so much. It will make you a better Mason.
And a better leader. And Dale's in. He's on the list. So
Awesome.
Yeah. So Dale's the guy, one of our guys from Blackmer. So Blackmer's going to have somebody there again. Anyway, that's good. So we're getting ready for that. The first class is like the end of February, and I'm trying to get all the schedules done. Yes, making the schedule's a pain in the ass. You send it out to everybody, and then everybody's got.
And now I'm the first one to send you an email.
They want to switch towns. They want to switch dates.
Hey, I'm sorry, man. I know I was the first. I bet I was the first one.
It's all good.
Because I was trying to be quick, man. I wanted to be quick so you would know.
It's all right. We're working it out. We got some new classes this year. Some classes, aren't coming back. We're adding some new ones, trying different things. The good thing about Wilkerson College is every year we take, do real hard evaluations. And if a class wasn't good, if the students didn't like it, if the instructor wasn't good, if the material just didn't jive, or if we just think it's tired, we'll yank it and put something else in there. So it's always evolving and changing. We'll never get it perfect.
It's crazy, man. You invited me to come down and do the social marketing aspect of it, and I do a lot of social marketing anyway, even for the college and the different businesses and different companies that I help. And it got out to college, and now the college is sending me around, and I'm teaching social marketing to all these small businesses. They're sending me around 2 or 3 times a month to go around and do business brainstorming with companies and different things. It's pretty neat, man. I'm really enjoying it. And I'm getting to meet all kinds of different people and small businesses and stuff, but that's what we're talking about. Same stuff that I talk about at Wilkerson College. It's really neat.
And now you're going to do it for publications too, right?
Right.
Huh. It's called synchronicity, my friend. The universe just keeps throwing things. When the universe wants you to do something, it'll just keep throwing it right in your path. So you have to keep stumbling over it or pick it up and run with it. So,
it's awesome, man. I'm enjoying it.
Wonder what that means.
I don't know, man.
What does that mean for you, Riley?
I don't know.
Let's get deep into your psyche.
Yeah. I think Beth Grace is going to tell me what it means. That's what we're going to do.
What a cool name, Beth Grace.
I'm telling you.
I wonder if she's a nice lady.
Rockstar. I'm sure she is. I've heard nothing but good things about her. I couldn't even, if she walked in, I wouldn't even know it was her. But I've heard a lot of positive stuff, man. A lot of positive energy.
Well, that's what we need. Well, here's what we really need. We need some press.
I think she's the one.
We need some free press. We need like a great big. We need. So they don't want to take ads at that thing. They've talked in the past. Kansas has a magazine.
I threw that out, man, in that phone conference, and man, I got told real quick that was not what we do.
Kansas sells ads, so they have plenty of money. So they have a slick back, really like a magazine. So I know that they don't want to take ad for whatever reason. I don't have a dog in that fight. I don't care what they do.
That's what I was told.
Well,
that line.
Whatever. That's got nothing to do with me. But I wonder if they let us sponsor it, since we are
Part
Masons and we're not selling anything.
That's right. We're not selling anything, man.
We're not. Yeah, we work for free.
We're just trying to get 3 more listeners.
So maybe we could have like a great big ad on the front of the North Carolina Mason.
We'll be like the Masonic John Boy and Billy.
Well, hell, we are that already. We already are that.
This is true.
Want some free pub for the Grand Lodge Committee on Masonic Education, and for Davy, and for this new thing that we're creating.
Absolutely.
Think she'll do it?
Yeah.
Wonder what her favorite meal is.
No clue, but I wish we were live right now, and it'd be cool if she'd text us. And
How much sucking up you reckon all this is going to take? I don't know. We're going to get her on our side. We need a plan.
I'm going to research while we're talking. Let's
Okay,
research
do
while we're
that.
talking.
I got her on Facebook.
She is on Facebook.
Yeah, she's
That's
on
what I was
Facebook.
getting ready.
But she has like pictures of like flowers and dogs and stuff, and so
I'm sure
she's
she's
like, it's
gonna-
kind of like secretive. It's like a public page,
yeah.
where there's no real information. on there.
Illuminati. Yeah, it's just
I know.
secret.
Grand installation's coming up this weekend. No, this is Thanksgiving weekend coming up. We got nothing to do over Thanksgiving. We ought to cook a pig or something. Randy was talking about doing oysters.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, we're doing oysters on Thanksgiving.
We who?
My family. You're welcome to come.
Oh, yeah. When is that? You on Thursday?
Yeah.
You do it on Thursday?
Yeah, we're going to do oysters. We're going to fry fish, turkey, some Boston butts, all kinds of stuff, man.
I might try and get by there. I got to do my family's, and then we're doing Alicia's family that night here. So, but I'll get by there if I can. Up at your pops.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Sean, you're welcome too. You and Alicia, you guys come out. We're going to have more than plenty.
So the next weekend, though, after that is the grand installation. This thing's going to be in Chapel Hill. And that's pretty much all I know about it, other than all the cool kids will be there, and we'll get everybody installed, and then you have a meeting afterwards, and I don't know. I guess I'll come home, but it ought to be a good deal. That thing, I think, is open to everybody, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think anybody can come to it. Brown made.
As far as I know, it is.
Did we ever decide if you're going to stream it, live stream it?
Well, I hadn't talked to anybody about that, but I have been studying it.
So it might be doable.
It is possible.
What did we do with the one from last year?
Still got it.
All right, so we may or may not be filming it, but we're definitely going. You want to ride together? Oh, you got to go to some kind of meeting afterwards, though.
I got to go to the publication meeting, lunching at 3.
Oh, well, maybe I'll just go to that.
I think you guys should crash it.
What are they going to do, run us off?
Nope.
Bill Fasion might.
It's a restaurant.
Bill runs a tight meeting. He is. Matter of fact,
I think, of course, he's going to be part of this meeting, but I think the newly elected Grand Master is going to be running the meeting.
I better not be crashing anything of his.
Well, it's a restaurant. You could just have him show up.
All right, I'm going to tell you a story. All right, now we're going to start the program. How many minutes are we in, Brad?
We got
8:50.
We've got a couple left.
And I am emailing Beth Grace as we speak.
As we speak.
Asking her what her favorite dish is. Hello, I'm Riley with Ben. We're shooting the podcast, and we're just...
What kind of flowers do you like?
Yeah, we're just curious what kind of food you like.
All right, here's a story. It's a true story. It's happened just the other day. So, strangely enough, the tractor shed here, which is a bar and restaurant, is... And we have a little microtel here on the other end. On one side of it, we have a hey, what's that thing? A hostel. That's what Jeff goes to. Yeah. We have a hostel on one end.
Oh gosh.
We're putting an addition on the other end. That's going to be a library. So there was a room over there that was a storage room, and then we cleaned that out, and that's going to be part of it. And then we put an addition onto that, and all this is going to be a library and a reading room, and cigar smoking and Scottish whiskey drinking room is pretty much what it's going to be. Leather overstuffed chairs and real manly colors, and I got a big exhaust fan built into the thing to suck out the cigar smoke. It's going to be fabulous, fabulous. Anyway, in process of getting ready for this thing, I had to clean out the storage room, right? So I'm going through all the stuff and throwing stuff out and hauling stuff to other storage buildings on the property and all this. And I run across this box. And this box has a bunch of books in it. And I'm a book guy, right? I'm a bibliophile. And we're building a library, so I don't ever throw a book away. But I was putting these books in stacks depending on their importance to me. And it was mostly a box of books that was like from when I was a young man, and stuff my mother had given me. So I ran across...
Have you always been big into books?
No.
Just out of curiosity.
No, I didn't start... I never read a book in high school other than what, Cliff's Notes, until I read The Hunt for Red October when I was probably 20 years old. And I remember sitting there in my room. I was in Alaska, and I was reading this book. And I was so excited about this story. I mean, it was just there's this submarine hunt going on, and they're shooting torpedoes at each other. And I remembered thinking that my heart was racing, and I'm like, "Holy cow! I'm reading a book, and I'm so excited into it that I'm pumped up." So that was when I fell in love with books, and so since then I read tons now, and now I read philosophical and Masonic stuff all the time. Anyway, so I'm going through these books, and I run across this little red book in this box with all these other books that my mother had given me, and I figured it was something that my mother gave me. And anybody that, especially people that like books, has probably done this before. I picked this book up and I opened it up to see what it was because it didn't have a title on the front of it. And like 30 minutes later, I'm still sitting there reading this book. It's about a little set of essays by a guy named Edward Drummond, who was a preacher, a clergyman of Scottish descent, and he would have been writing in the 1890s probably when he wrote this thing. And this little book was called The Greatest Thing in the World. And it starts off with a scripture reading, and it was one of St. Paul's letters, where St. Paul was, I can't remember which set of letters it was, maybe Ephesians or something, but it's the one that has in there, it has a rather long scripture in front of it, but it's the one that talks about faith, hope, and love. And so we say charity and Masonry, but for all you people that are into the allegory and symbolism, when they say faith, hope, and charity, they don't mean giving alms. They mean charity in this sense means love, brotherly love, loving your brothers, right? So it's this scripture lesson about faith, hope, and love. And it just really, I don't know, it for some reason, the more I get into spirituality and the more that I begin to understand what Masonry is really trying to teach us, the more these things keep coming up. And the Grand Master this year says that, if you're going to keep me as a Mason, if you're going to interest me, if you're going to engage me, you got to do three things. One is you've got to teach me something. Two, you've got to give me the ability to give back in some way, whether that's through fundraising or giving back to the community in whatever way, and you've got to give me fellowship. All of those things, involve love. It's the greatest commandment, Love your God with all your heart and soul, and love your neighbor as yourself, and that is the whole of the law, right? So I've had this on my mind a lot lately. It seems like it's just kind of keeps coming, synchronicity keeps sending it to me. This stuff we led off with, talking about Chris Hawkins and Al Terrell and Danny Martin and these guys, they're reached out because of love, right? So I've had it on my mind, and so I'm sitting there, I'm reading this scripture lesson, and it's really hitting me hard, and in this book, I turn a little bit more in this book, and I find a note. It's like a card, like a little card size, invitation card size, and it has my name written on it, Ben Wallace. And it's not in my mother's handwriting. And so I go to open the letter, the note, to see what it says, and it had never been opened. The letter had never been opened. That doesn't make any sense, does it? So it's got my name on it. It's not in my mother's handwriting.
And it's never
It's
been
this
opened.
really emotional book. I mean, it's just emotionally, it had hit me hard already. And so I take my pocket knife and I open it up and I read this letter. I wish I had it down here with me. I don't. I'm going to paraphrase it. It's from 32 years ago. And it says, I'm probably going to start crying just talking about this. Brown, can you cut it out if I start crying, can you cut this out?
No.
Just roll. Just keep
All right.
rolling.
It won't. This one ain't gonna make it. It's gonna make more sense to you guys than it is to anybody
Sure.
that's listening. But this is our time, so in my story, so everybody else can. Says Ben. Sometimes teachers give students books that they know they're not going to read and just to sit on the shelf. But I wanted to give you this book because it truly is about the greatest thing in the world. And I just want you to know that I love you. And it was signed in 1985. It would have been in June of 1985 by Ruby Sanders. Now, Ruby Sanders is a school teacher. Obviously, she was one of my school teachers. Probably taught, certainly, both of y'all have Miss Sanders.
I can't remember that.
Do you know? It's Andy's.
Right. I
Andy
remember
and,
her. I don't remember if I had her. I definitely, I think I've had her for subs. For a sub.
Goes to the First Baptist Church right here in town. We know both of her kids. So I was a member of First Baptist Church at that time. I've since become a Methodist. And and she was one of my teachers, and I was the worst, snot-nosed, egotistical, big-feeling, redneck, horrible, know-it-all knuckleheads that you could ever imagine when I was in high school. And I was horrible to her. And
Really?
there
I
she
wouldn't
is.
picture that.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't have pictured that.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she wrote that letter to me. So I find it 32 years later. Is that crazy or what?
That's crazy, man.
So here's what I'm going to do. I have conspired with Debbie Barden, another retired school teacher,
Right.
Who teaches Sunday school. They go to the same Sunday school class, and Debbie's teaching on December 10th, 11th, and I'm gonna go up there and tell this story to Miss Sanders.
You should just start reading something really cool out of the book to see if she remembers the book.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Don't say anything.
I got it all planned out.
Just see if she remembers that book.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
man,
going to go
that'd
tell
be
that
cool.
story. Then
I want to come that day, man.
You can come.
We should film it.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Anyway, it's really cool. It's a lesson in love. So I keep, Steve Lynch is another guy. I've told this story on the air before,
Great
and I
guy.
won't do it again.
Great guy.
He's always talking about, loving your brothers, and how much he loves Masonry and how much he loves his brothers. And
I'll tell you what, guys, if for all of our people listening, male, female, doesn't matter, Steve Lynch, he's on Facebook. If you just want something positive,
yeah.
I mean, he's always putting positive stuff on there, great pictures of him in the past and stuff that he's doing and good little messages and sayings. Follow him on Facebook, Steve Lynch. It's under Steve Lynch. He's a great guy.
Absolutely. And he's taught me so much about Masonry and about love and about loving your brothers, and that's really what it's all about. So anyway, that's my story about that. And the great lessons of Masonry are laying right there for all of us to pick up. We're going to have a whole show probably next month. We're probably going to get Sean Bradshaw to come down and talk about this new program that we're creating. So I don't want to steal all the thunder from that.
So, Sean, when you do come, you need to bring your helmet. He actually, I hope I don't ruin the surprise because I hope he really brings it because I'm hoping if anything ever happens to him, I've told him he needs to will this to me. But he actually has a full-fledged, you say dead mouse, everybody says it's different, dead mouse, but he has the helmet. He has one of the helmets.
Cannot be true.
The eyes light up, everything.
Where'd he get that?
He ordered it. And he and I both were looking for one for Halloween one year. And he ordered a real one. I needed like the Bobo brand, like cheap one. He went all out, man. He's got the real,
paper mache.
Yeah, I need mine to be foam, just like sponge. He's got the real deal, man. It's cool. Lights up and everything. He needs to bring it when he comes.
I would
please bring it, Sean, when you come.
I would love to see that.
It's awesome.
It's good stuff. Wonderful. So we're so Sean's going to come probably next month, and we're going to talk about this program at length. But more or less, this program is all about the allegory and symbolism and the deep teachings of what our craft is teaching us. It's all right there in front of you, but it's very difficult to understand and work your way through because you have to interpret stuff and you have to dig deep and you have to research and you have to have mentors that can explain things to you. And I've been teaching this allegory and symbolism lecture for a couple of years now, and I feel like I know that side of it extremely well. But in creating this program, we've all decided, the guys that are involved in this, me and Randy and Curry and Mike Daniels and Sean Bradshaw, and so we've all got this research that we're going back through all the books that we're going to use, the Steinsmets and the Wilmshursts, and we're rereading these books, and we're like making notes, and we're developing a curriculum and stuff, and I'm finding stuff that even more stuff that I didn't know. The lessons, those veins run deep, and I'm so excited about what we're doing. And the lessons, even though they're in every philosophical and esoteric system that you study, there's a tremendous amount of depth and of width, but the fundamental truth is fundamental truth, and all the fundamental lessons come back to being really simple. So I guess what I'm saying is, on one hand, like, Freemasonry is like really complex, and there's so much to learn. But when you render it back down, it comes right back down to some pretty fundamental stuff. And one of those things is love your God, and one is love your neighbor. It's the whole of the law.
That's it.
So I'm excited about where we're going with this program. I can't wait to roll it out to everybody next month. And I don't know. That's pretty much it. What we got left? What do you got? That's what I got. What do you got?
That's it, man. Hopefully, after December 3rd, I'll be able to tell everybody how the Publications Committee meeting went and what they're rolling out, and some exciting stuff coming on from there.
Super cool.
And unfortunately, Beth Grace did not send us a message back, but hopefully we'll find out what her favorite meal is.
She's
and
probably
get some
like,
direction.
who the hell are you? What are they?
That's probably
Not
exactly
going
what
on
she
that
said.
show.
I know.
She'll come. She'll come. Hopefully she will. Of course, I don't know where she lives. You know, she may live all the other end of the world. Yeah, we'll get to that person. If we have to, we'll go to her. Love your neighbor. Love your brother.
Always.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you, man. Pack leader. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Masonian. For more information and productions, please visit and like our Facebook page at 357 Productions or 357productions.com. You may also email us at 357productionsteam@gmail.com. Again, that is 357productionsteam@gmail.com, or feel free to inbox us on our Facebook page at 357 Productions. As always, tell people that you love them, and remember, we meet on the level and part on the square.